tribal communities are one of the most vulnerable and the most disadvantaged populations in the country even today.
Right.
So in 2010, we really started to think about how do we address this particular pocket of community and how do we really make a difference to the lives of these. The institutional delivery rate has increased, the antenatal care coverage has increased, immunization rates have increased. This has happened because of concerted efforts of the government and the team.
Today we are here with Dr. Shailendra Kumar Hegde, the Senior Vice President at Piramal Swasth. Dr. Hegde oversees various projects focusing on areas such as maternal and child health and non-communicable diseases. He leads Piramal's efforts in developing Tribal Health Collaborative to improve the health status of tribal communities in India. With over 12 years of experience in leading and delivering clinical service, Dr. Hegde's expertise lies in conducting community-based research and managing large healthcare programs. Dr. Hegde, absolute pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Yamini. Such a pleasure to be invited on this wonderful forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So just to begin with, sir, we would like to understand a little bit about your background and why you got started into this, health and nutrition area.
Thank you. So I think I did my MD in preventive and social medicine, also called community medicine. A lot of focus is there on prevention of disease rather than actually treatment, which is also a part, but more importance is given to how do you prevent a disease. Prevention is better than cure, the standard adage that really goes well with the thinking. So my interest has always been on that particular aspect and of course to creating impact at a population level.
Right.
So it really drove me to try and understand more on how do population dynamics work. So I participated and really worked in a program which was on managing community health workers driven management of non-communicable diseases, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases. How do we really address these diseases through the agency of community health workers? That was something that we did as a part of our work in the past. Right. Subsequently, I moved into managing programs which have impact at large scale, and that's how I got interested into into health and nutrition, and more so now in the tribal health and nutrition subject.
Right, sir. So let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, I read in your profile that you've set up this tribal program, and often that is the population that I feel is quite neglected and kind of slip through the cracks when we design our interventions. So why did you particularly decide to focus on them, and what work have you done with this population?
Way back in 2010, Piramal Swasthya established what we call as an Asra tribal health program in the Araku Valley region of Visakhapatnam district in Andhra Pradesh.
Right.
Why did we really go there? Because our work has always been to address the vulnerable communities and vulnerable populations in the country. That has been a mission for us, and tribal communities are one of the most vulnerable and the most disadvantaged populations in the country even today. Right. So in 2010, we really started to think about how do we address this particular pocket of community and how do we really make a difference to the lives of these people. Right. So the tribal program that we began in Visakhapatnam was really a commitment towards that. So we started working through an agency of setting up a community outreach program, providing quality antenatal care, postnatal care, and also setting up a telemedicine network wherein we were able to really get these tribal women to come to a smaller town where we could establish a telemedicine facility and connect them to a gynecologist sitting out here in Hyderabad. Right. And that made a big difference. These people also require consultations that are very, very specific. There are people who are high risk. There are people who require that additional, counseling. And all of these things were possible through the telemedicine network that we built.
Right.
So that was how the initiative began. And then slowly we realized that this is something that's really making a difference. We were able to increase the institutional deliveries in this region from around 20% to almost 70%. And if there is a direct proportional relationship between increase in institutional deliveries and also reduction in mortality. So as the institutional deliveries improves, the mortality reduction happens to a certain level. So we were able to do that. We were able to increase institutional deliveries. We were able to reduce mortality in these regions. And then we embarked upon a journey to really see if the same can be scaled up. Can the same thing be replicated in other regions as well? And we quickly realized that that's not probably the best way, because every tribal region, tribal community has its own challenges, its own strengths and weaknesses. And we felt that we would be doing injustice if we really take the same model that we set up in Araku to other parts of the country. So we said, is there a reason for us to really look at possible other models? And we said, can we understand what is happening in this region? So that's how the interest began. That's how the initiative really started. And we said that, can we look at practitioners who have worked in this space, learn from them, and see what can be scaled up across tribal population in India. There are about 105 million tribal people in India. That's about 9% of India's population. And more than 50% of these people actually live in pretty remote, challenging areas. So learning from people, experts who are in the field, using our own experience as well, is what really helped us to come up with the hypothesis that working as a collaborative to address the tribal health challenges in India is the way forward for us. That is how we came into tribal health and nutrition agenda. With respect to nutrition agenda, I just thought I'll just complete it. Due to the nutrition agenda, one of the key problems that has been identified in the tribal communities is the undernutrition aspect, undernutrition among children and pregnant mothers. And our work in Araku also led us to really look at a community nutrition model, where we are trying to understand how we can set up a Nutri Hub in the community, which is going to be managed by the community themselves, and therefore provides opportunity to make it sustainable. And that is how nutrition component got involved into the tribal health journey that we've had. Yeah, thank you.
You're right. I've done my BSc in psychology, so I have a background of mental health, and we see that these community models are really the ones that are having maximum impact, because in a country like India, where there's some 10,000 people per one psychiatrist or per practitioner, it becomes difficult to deal with that challenge, and community models are the way forward. So that's great that you're working towards that. So let's talk about another population, sir, which is also quite vulnerable, which is pregnant women and children, especially, in this COVID pandemic. So how has Piramal Swasth approached nutrition at a time when there is such a big crisis in the country in regards to pregnant women and children?
Yeah. So I think maternal health and child health has always been one of the focus areas for Swasthya. Piramal Swasthya has actually focused on these communities from the beginning, given the vulnerability that is attached to these communities, to these population, mother and child. If you look at nutrition among children, right, almost 40% of under 5s are undernourished, and that's not a good sign at all, because this is the future of the country, and if the future of the country does not get the adequate nutrition, which means that we are essentially reducing their potential to become citizens who could contribute significantly to both economic and social productivity of the country.
Right.
So focusing on these population is very, very critical for Swasthya. I think over the last few years, we've always, whatever program that we pick up, we always pick up our work with the mother and child first, given the importance to the country of this population. Let me take an example of the work that we are doing with the backward and aspirational districts. The Government of India launched the Aspirational Districts Transformation Program in 2018, and Piramal Swasthya is one of the partners along with Niti Aayog to transform 25 aspirational districts out of a total of 170.
Right.
Now, in these aspirational districts, the focus has been on mother and child mostly. Out of the 31 indicators that we track, more than 20 indicators are focused entirely on mother and child. There are about 6 indicators that focus on infrastructure, which also in turn takes care of mother and child. And then there are a couple of indicators on tuberculosis, which is also another priority area for the country. So our work has really spanned on providing strengthening, system strengthening initiatives to address mother and child in these aspirational districts. So we are not running a parallel system, but in turn, we are actually supporting the system in really ensuring that the interventions that are there become stronger, they are robust, and we are able to implement it. They are able to implement it without challenges, without difficulty. So our focus has been on that. And over the last 2 years, we are really very happy and proud to have shown a dramatic improvement in some of the indicators in these aspirational districts. So the institutional delivery rate has increased, the antenatal care coverage has increased, immunization rates have increased. This has happened because of concerted efforts of the government and the team.
That's wonderful. And I think, sir, that's the aim that we have as well, is that nutrition is not just an agenda for the public sector or the private sector. It is an agenda for all of us at a global and a national level. And that is something that we are working towards. Now, sir, looking into the future, what is one area of nutrition or one population that you are wanting to, break into with your nutrition agenda?
So I think mother and child continues to be our focus area with respect to nutrition, more child than mother. Because the first 2 years of the child's life and the entire pregnancy period of the mother, I think those are absolutely critical periods, as we call as the first 1,000 days, which is what is our focus as well. And I think the work that we are doing both in the aspirational districts as well as in Araku essentially focuses on these 1,000 days itself. So we have our nutrition hub that we have set up in Araku essentially looks at building the capability of the mothers to be able to take care of her child in a very in a way in which nutrition is enhanced, in a way in which malnutrition can be addressed. We've also tried to ensure that we not only get pregnant mothers involved in this initiative, but also involve adolescent girls. We also involve community at large. We also involve self-help groups of women, so that there is a concerted effort on understanding the nutritional issues that are there at the community level. We've also focused on more locally available foodstuff rather than providing a supplementary food, the additional food that is given. I think while supplementary nutrition is important, what is also critical is to focus on what is locally available and how do you make that nutritionally dense, and how do you ensure that the women and children are able to consume that without much of a challenge, much of a problem. So that has been one key area in which we're working. The second aspect of our work, especially in the aspirational districts, has been to really focus on enabling and empowering people to drive Poshan Abhiyan. So Poshan Abhiyan is one of our government of India's key intervention now going forward to address nutrition. And Piramal Swasthya has been working in the aspirational districts to ensure that the Poshan Abhiyan activities take place on the ground in the manner that they should be taking place.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because I feel like when the COVID crisis hit, because all the efforts and the funding and everything was directed so much towards COVID, that people often fail to realize that tuberculosis, HIV, these things still exist, and we need to keep our efforts going, in nutrition and in health and in other areas where there is still a problem that exists. So that's great, sir. This brings us to the end of our interview, sir. Thank you so much for taking time out. It was such an insightful experience, and I must say quite inspiring to see how much great work that you're doing across communities of India. And I wish you all the best in all your future nutrition efforts, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yamini. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be associated with Impact for Nutrition and be able to share our learnings with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.